insurance, you don't have an insurance policy. You have an insurance contract. And so what's in that contract is what they will do. They won't do what you hope for and you pray for. They will only do what's in that contract. And if it's not in there, this is for profit. They're for profit. So they're not going to, they're not just going to do it because you're a good old guy,
So when you mentioned that a couple weeks ago when we were talking, that just kind of struck a chord with me for some reason. And I used that in a conversation last week about the contract. It's not a policy, it's a contract. And the people I was talking to were like, the same light bulb went off over their head. They're like, holy cow, you're right. You especially if you're dealing with the same insurance agent for several years, you start thinking of them more on a friendly basis and everything. And, he'll take care of me. Well, right. It's not up to your agent how well or how poorly you get taken care of. It is the contract that you've got with the insurance carrier themselves, and they are going to go by the letter. So don't get lulled into this false sense of security. I'm dealing with a good guy. He's going to take care of me. It's not about that. It's about the contract you signed.
He's still a good guy. He's just not going to be the one standing there wanting for you to write all this stuff out. Danny, which has been my insurance man 30 out of 34 years, we deer hunt together. We do stuff together. Everything, we're friends, and we still are friends. But he has been at my place of business up until a few weeks ago, almost every day, checking on things, answering any questions. But the lady that I'm having, my wife, who's about pulled her hair out 2-3 times, dealing with our carrier, is in Michigan. The lady that's the adjuster's in Michigan. And she knows Danny's my buddy, but her job is to be the adjuster and to do what she's required to do by her company's policies. And same way now, the adjuster on my trucks, he's local, but I don't know him, and so he can get skin in the game. He's got a job to do, and so you've got to separate he will go to bat for you if there's an issue. He will answer questions, which Danny's done for me 100,000 times. But he's kind of the middleman. He'll tell you they have to back out of it because it's out of their control. But if you have issues, he's copied us on emails and we've done stuff just to get some clarification on some things. But and he could be your advocate, sort of. But the buck stops there, I guess you'd say.
Yep. So all right. So wrapping this all up. What is the biggest thing? If there's one key thing you could say to everybody trying to help, you just said something interesting a minute ago. You said, you may choose to do nothing with this information. Our intro to the show actually used to say, we provide the information, you choose what to do with it. Cause you can't force people to do anything, but at least have the knowledge. At least have the knowledge moving forward. Understand that there's different types of insurance coverage. Just doesn't mean everything's insured. What if there's one thing you can say to everybody, one bullet point? What is it?
That's hard to pin it down. But I tell you this, man. There's a thing that's called ordinance of law coverage. And that was my policy, not by my doings, had a $10,000 allowance for stuff that you're legally required to do. Like my building was built in 2000. Here we are, 2021. They passed all these new things. And so you're having architects, you're having engineering, you're having all these things. Even some of them could require you to go to sewer instead of septic tank. And so I had a $10,000 thing that they threw in my policy. Well, my architecture estimate was $71,000 for my building and the building on the hill.
Wow.
So, all newly things that are required by law is called ordinance of law coverage, and it should be 15% building value is rated at $1,000. So if you've got $120,000 it should cost you about $1,200 a year. So that's just a decision you're going to have to make if you want to spend that money. But you've got to, and I said this to you because the fence coverage, if it attached to your building, could go in the cost of your building. The debris removal does not in play until it exceeds the cost of what your building is. So I had $25,000 worth of debris removal. So I thought they'd write me a $25,000 check. Well, no, that's when you exceed the limit on your building. And then there's some excess $25,000 for your building. So saying all that, just make a good look at, and again, it's gambling. It's a decision you're going to have to make. And I say gambling, but you know what I'm saying. You've got to pick what's best for your business. But that legally required stuff could run in some major bucks, because I think it'd cost me $100,000 in the stuff that I'm legally required to do by law now that is going to come out of the cost of my building. And so that's the stuff you don't know about, and so all I would say is look at everything and try to get your feelings out of it and say, hey, because, hey, I've been in business 34 years. First time it's ever happened to me. But it does happen. So you play your odds and you figure out what's best for you, for your company. And you know what you're dealing with then, And if you choose not to do it, then you know it.